We took a trip recently, and anytime that we take a trip, we immerse ourselves in the local culture, the local food culture. What do you think about when you think about the Outer Banks?
Nag's Head, the Wright brothers.
You know what I think about?
What? Fishing.
Redfish, red drum. I think about bluefish. I think about Spanish mackerel. I think about all the wonderful opportunities, speckled trout.
How about the good food there too?
Oh, the
oysters,
seafood.
the clams.
Right off the boat.
Yes.
And I think about history, like you talked about. One of the most beautiful places, I think, in the United States on the East Coast, other than Kentucky. You can't beat Kentucky.
That's right.
We went to Ocracoke Island.
I like that place.
And we started talking to folks about what foods are from that area. Some of them old, ancient, some of them obviously the seafood things, the clams and everything that's around that area and redfish. But we talked to someone named Chester Lynn. He's 10 generations on that island, and his family has been there since the 1600s.
Tell him how we found him though.
Well, he had an antique store. So
his house was an antique store.
His house was an antique store. So we stopped by to talk to him, and immediately I knew I had found somebody with a brogue accent.
Yes.
He said, now if you go in that room right there in the bed, you'll find something about, and then he was talking about a doll or a statue, and he said, now that's on her head. And I'm like, it almost sounds like an Australian, some of it sounds Irish. So these people lived on this island and were rather isolated for hundreds of years. So let's talk to Chester Lynn just for a minute, let you hear a little bit of his brogue accent, and then let him tell us about the fig preserves. They grow out figs on the island, and let's talk about making that cake. Here's Chester Lynn. So your family's been here since when?
Since the 1600s. You know, Ocracoke in the early 1900s had 2 millionaires. They hated each other. But in the process of them hating each other, they done, things to the community. One of them hired the local people to build his big mansions on the island. And then the other was from here, and he made life more convenient for people living here. Ice plant, power plant. There was a movie theater in Blackbird's Lodge at one time. Think about that. They have a movie theater here, but there was a movie theater in Blackbird's Lodge.
Wow. The fig cake, how did that start?
Fig cake is a traditional on the island now. Margaret Garish, one of the island ladies, she took a recipe. I think it was a date cake recipe, and she didn't have the ingredients, so she put preserved figs in it and changed the recipe and put other ingredients in it, and now it's famous. And we have a fig cake cooking contest. Fig cake is a heavy cake. It's not a light and airy cake. It's supposed to be heavy and moist, and if it ain't, we say if it ain't moist, it ain't, throw it away,
We stayed on Hatteras, and we stayed in an area called Slash Creek.
It was a fishing community. That's why
was
you
a
liked
fishing
it.
community.
You loved it.
There are fishing stores about every 10 minutes. You look up and see
Yeah, you were miserable, weren't you?
I caught flounder right off the bat. Ended up catching some big redfish.
Yes, we did.
Let's talk to Mr. Revere here and just talk a little bit about the redfish in that part of the country.
Captain Justin, you made it happen. That was a good day. I mean, is that a typical day?
Yeah, we can easily catch some redfish. Anytime the wind's blowing, we're gonna have redfish bite. If it's blowing a little bit harder, we might have caught some.
Seriously?
But around here, just about any time, we're gonna catch red drum.
So you've been doing this a while. You said about 11 years down here?
Yeah, 11 years with this boat doing this, and then before that I was offshore mate for about 12 years.
So that's a lot of years. And you were in the Coast Guard before that?
Correct.
Always on the water?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Now let me ask you a question. I suppose you eat a lot of fish.
Yes, absolutely. Well, you can cut anything up in chunks, shake it up in house archery and fry it, but
what do you like?
I like just simple seasoning, sear it, and
Pan
skillet.
seared?
Yes, sir. Yeah.